Well, hello there. So today is the Pantry Challenge, week 2. This is my meal 3. And I'm going to make some homemade mozzarella sticks. I'm going to show you the basic principles of that and share that recipe. I'm going to make some potatoes in the Instapot. So we washed and poked them, and we're just going to put them in the Instapot and cook them for about 20 minutes. And we'll have some baked potatoes. And then I have some steak that we're going to do. This is some steak that I had in my freezer from August. So I thawed it out in my refrigerator. So we're going to take them out of the bag, and I'm just going to cook them in the air fryer with just salt and pepper and in their air fryer for about 12 minutes, 6 minutes on each side. And then we will have some steaks. But this is homemade mozzarella sticks. And here is the recipe. Okay, you have, I will have the recipe down below in the description. So homemade mozzarella sticks is you need 3/4 of a cup of flour, sea salt, black pepper, and garlic powder in your flour mixture. You have 2 eggs plus a tablespoon of water and beat those up. And then we're going to put 2 cups of panko and 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning and some mozzarella cheese. Now, I just had a small block and I just cut them into little cubes, little sticks just like this. You can also use string cheese and cut them in half, and you can use those. But I'm going to use these. Now, this is a basic dredging method. So we're going to go into the egg, into the flour. Slippery little sucker. And we're going to put them in the flour. We're going to put him back into the egg. And then we're going to put him into the panko. And we're just going to make sure he's good and stuck on here. And then we're going to put him onto a baking sheet. And then I'm going to freeze them for about 20 minutes to 40 minutes. And then we're going to fry them in oil. So I'm going to continue to do this part. You don't need to see me dredge cheese, for 5 minutes. So this is the basic: egg, flour, back into egg, into panko. And I'll see you when we get done with that. All right, so these have been in the freezer for a few minutes, probably about 10 or so. The longer is better because you won't have any blowouts. But I have some oil here and I have it heated up. And I'm just going to put in a couple at a time. And they're going to fry in the oil for just a couple of minutes. And when they're done frying, I'm going to put them on paper towels to drain. But I don't want my paper towels too close because I do have gas heat and I don't want these to catch fire. So I do have them off to the side. And it just takes just a couple of minutes to get them nice and bubbly, dark and brown. And pull them off. And I'm going to let them drain. Now, I'm going to finish. This is what they're going to look like. So I'm going to finish frying these up, and when we're done, we'll get it all plated up. Okay, so these are the steaks, and I put them on an air fryer liner. And then I'm just going to lightly salt and pepper them. That's pretty much all I'm going to do to these. And then they're going to go in the air fryer I do it for 12 minutes on the steak button, and at 6 minutes I flip them and they're done perfect for my family. So this is me just prepping up the little steaks that we got. Okay, so here is the Pantry Challenge Week 2 Meal 3 that I've done for my family tonight. So we have a steak that I took out of the freezer. It's a big steak, so they'll probably eat half of it and have the rest for lunch tomorrow. We did some potatoes in the Instapot. I did some corn on the cob that I had in the freezer. And we made some mozzarella sticks, homemade. Very easy, very simple. It took no time at all to make those mozzarella sticks. Here, and let me show you what they look like on the inside. So we're going to take it and we're just going to pull it apart. And it's nice and stringy and really, really yummy. And we have some homemade marinara sauce with just some tomato sauce and a little bit of Italian seasoning in it. And that is it. So this is the Pantry Challenge, Week 2, Meal 3. Thank you, and we'll see you for the next meal. Well, hello, and welcome back to the Pantry Challenge. So today is Pantry Challenge Week 2, Meal 4. And we're going to do a leftover makeover. I'm going to do beef and broccoli. This was a request for my husband. So last night I made steaks. And we, of course, didn't eat them because eat them all because they were huge. So I'm going to take my cooked beef here. And I'm just going to go ahead and slice it into small little pieces just like this. And I'm going to make some beef and broccoli. So let me finish getting this cut up and I will come back and give you the rest of the directions. Okay, so I'm going to do beef and broccoli. This is a recipe that is in my recipe box here that I have. So the recipe will be included down below in the description. And I am going to vary it just a little bit because my beef is already cooked. So if you remember yesterday's meal, I did steaks and all I did is salt and pepper them and I cooked them in the air fryer. So they're already peppered. So I'm going to skip cooking the beef and peppering the beef. It does say in a small bowl, I'm going to take 1/3 of a cup of soy sauce and 1/3 of a cup of water. Let me move this up out of the way. And 1/3 of a cup of water. And 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, and I've already put that in here, so I just need to stir that up. I need to add some minced garlic, which I took out of my freezer and minced it up. So I have some minced garlic and some minced ginger, because I just freeze my ginger in a zippy bag. And I just leave it in my working freezer, and then I just cut it off as needed. So I have my ginger. So I add 1/3 a cup of soy sauce, 1/3 a cup of water, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 4 cloves of garlic, a tablespoon of ginger mixed. And then I'm going to add 1 to 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. So I'm going to make a slurry with this. I have 2 tablespoons of cornstarch in here. So I'm just going to add some, kind of mix it up a little bit and get it ready. Add the rest of that in there, because this is what's going to make our sauce and make it thicken. Okay, we're just going to set this aside for now. So now I have my beef, and I have some onion that I had in the freezer that was already chopped up, so I pulled that out because it says a half of a yellow onion, and I have a little bit of thereabouts. It says 1 head of cut up broccoli. I have some frozen broccoli that I'm going to use up. So I'm just going to estimate how much I would need out of the bag. And I also do have broccoli and carrot slaw, and I might throw some of that in there that I froze. I bought this last month on clearance, so I might throw some of that in there. So I'm going to go to my stove and get ready to get this all mixed up. We are going to serve it over noodles, and I'm going to serve it over angel hair pasta. That's our preferred noodle for when we do like a lo mein. So I have water boiling for the angel hair pasta. So I'm going to cook up some noodles, and I'm going to go to the stove. Okay, my water is boiling for my angel hair pasta, so I'm going to go ahead and pop some in here. Because of the rest of it's not going to take very long to cook because it's already cooked. You know, the beef's cooked, the broccoli's already cooked. So it's not going to take long to do it all, which is nice. It makes it a very, very quick meal. And that's one thing I love about leftovers is you can make just about anything out of them, and it's easy to go. So I'm going to add a little bit of avocado oil to my pan. My pan, I turned it on a minute ago, so it's getting warmed up. So I'm going to add a little bit of avocado oil to it. Now, because my beef is already cooked, I am going to add my onion to this. Waiting for half a second here so that can get going. We're going to add our onion. Now remember, my onion was already frozen, so it's kind of looks wimpy and wilty. That's because it was frozen and starting to thaw out. So I'm just going to cook that for just a minute or so right here. And as that's kind of doing its thing, I'm going to go ahead and add in my broccoli next, because I do need to cook the broccoli just a little bit. I mean, it's already been blanched and everything, but I want this to cook a little bit longer because it's still a little bit frozen. So I'm going to add the broccoli in. And all I did is I put it in a colander and I rinsed it under cold water in the sink. And then I just cut it into more bite-sized pieces instead of big, huge chunks. And then I'm going to add the broccoli slaw. So it's shredded broccoli and carrots. I'm going to go ahead and add that in here too. Just to add a little bit more. So as that's kind of doing its thing, I'm going to stir my noodles, because angel hair pasta does not take very long at all. And in fact, because I'm busy over here, I'm just going ahead and turn it off and let it just kind of do its thing. So we're going to just cook our onions and our broccoli just for a minute or two. Well, probably 5 actually. Because I just want to kind of get it started to go. I'm just going to cook it for another couple minutes here. And then I'm going to add my beef. And then I'm going to add my sauce. All right, so this has been cooking for just a couple of minutes. So they're starting to get soft and tender. So now I'm just going to add my beef to it. Because my beef is already cooked. Just testing to see how cooked those broccolis are. All right. So now it says to add the sauce, and we're going to cook it for 3 to 5 minutes. So I have my sauce here because it's been sitting for a couple minutes. I am going to stir it to make sure that cornstarch is well distributed and hasn't settled. And then I'm going to add it to my sauce. Add my sauce to my pan. And then I'm going to kind of make sure everything gets coated. So I'm going to use my canning lid from my water bath canner. And I'm just going to kind of keep an eye on that and let it simmer for 3 to 5 minutes. And I'm going to stir it now and again. So when this gets done, I'm going to go ahead and plate up the meal. So I will meet you back over when we're all done. Okay, so this is our beef and broccoli. Pull it up a little closer so you can see it. So we have some lo mein noodle, well, angel hair pasta, and some beef and some broccoli. Very easy, simple to do. Leftover makeover from steak to beef and broccoli. We do normally put sesame seeds on the top, so I'm going to sprinkle some sesame seeds on here. And then if somebody needs a little extra soy sauce or teriyaki sauce, they could add that to their plate as needed. So beef and broccoli with some beef and some basic ingredients, you can make your sauce. And some broccoli or whatever you have. You can do it with other vegetables, of course, too. And again, the recipe will be down below. But our beef and broccoli for tonight. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.